Hello everybody, Bill Platt here, and I just want to shoot a real quick video for you, and I am going to try to keep this one short. So when we're doing our journals, it's important that we always seek to give people what they want. A lot of people within this group, within the Book a Day System group, have expressed issues or concerns about different costs with producing their journals. For example, some people said that I don't want to put color inside my book because that increased the cost of the book, as if somehow that takes away from the profit margin that's available to the author. Now, here's the reality of the situation, and this is important. I want to make this is the point of the video today. I do want to make this pretty straightforward. Whenever we get into a situation of we want to offer something different to consumers, and what we choose increases the price of that book, there's one important thing that we have to do at all times, and that is pass the cost to the consumer, pass the additional cost to the consumer. So if you have what we generally want to do is we want to make a determination as to how much we want to make per book. So I'm even doing this when I'm just setting prices on books. So I've got, like, for example, 52-page journal that I sell for $12.95, and then I have a 100-page journal that I sell for $6.99. Now, which one makes me the most money? Well, technically, on per book basis, the 52-page journal makes me the most money, and as a percentage of the whole, it's probably about 30% of all the books I sell are paying me it works out to $5.70 per book sold on the 52-page journal. So you should position some of your books at low cost, some of them at high cost. But at the same time, you're looking at how much you need to make per book to make it worth your while to do this. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about here is there are certain things, not that one. Let's see, be this one right here. There are certain things that we can bring into our decision making process on how we develop our books. And each of these are going to impact how much money we can make per book. So with colored pages, there's a lot of journals out there that do have color inside the pages, not just black and white, but actual colored pages. And for those books, the price is a little bit more. And consumers understand that there are certain things that cost more money. If I've got a black and white book, it's going to be uh, less expensive to print than a colored book because of color inks. So that's something that people understand. If they are sold on having the color design inside the book, then they're sold on paying a little bit more to get that book. The same with the binding. If I want spiral bound or um, perfect binding or even a hardbound book, the hardbound book is going to be 3 times or 4 times or 5 times more expensive than the paperback book. And people understand that, and people are willing to pay more for it. So within the Book a Day system, what our goal is to put out a wide range of materials for people to choose from, different products that they can choose from. As a consumer, the consumer has the ability to decide how much they're willing to pay for that book. So if you want to put out one version of the book in softbound, the perfect binding, and then black and white pages, and then put out another one that's in perfect bound with color pages, and give people the option. Do you want it in color or do you want it in black and white? I've got two different versions of the same book. If you want the color, it's this much, and if you want the black and white, it's this much. So give people that option and make a choice about what they're willing to spend. Now, one of the things that I learned when I was selling cars, at the time, I was pretty poor. I could not afford to go down and buy a brand new car. And even though I was selling cars, and this is something that's going to be shocking to you, when I was selling cars, if I sold a brand new car, I made a $100 commission. Brand new car, $30,000 car, and I make a $100 commission. However, it didn't take me long to figure out that if I sell a used car, I can make $400, $500, $600 commission. So what did that result in for me? Well, I spent more of my time selling used cars than I did selling new cars, because long term, The value for me is in the dollar bills I bring home, not in the um glory of selling a brand new car. So I sold new cars and I sold used cars, but whenever I got the opportunity, I focused my time and energy on the used car. So if somebody come into the lot and I realize they probably can't afford that new car that I've got available to them, but I can take them over here and show them the car that's 1 year old, that's been used before, and even though it's the same car, they're looking at a 19. At the time, it was. Let's see, when was that? I was like 1998, 1999, somewhere in that range. So I would take them over and I could show them the 1999 Monte Carlo, Chevy Monte Carlo. And if they bought that car, I'd make $100. But if I took them over here and showed them 1998 Monte Carlo, I could actually make $700 on that car. So guess what I did? I took them over and showed them the used car. And I was moving used cars. I wasn't moving new cars. Okay. So from that perspective, you push them to where you can make the money. And the person who's doing the buying is going to make that decision for themselves. Do I want to buy the new car or do I want to buy the used car? And there are benefits to doing both. Maybe you can save a little bit of money going with the used car over the new car. But the important thing is it's easier to finance a used car than it is to finance a new car. If somebody is on the breaking edge of being able to afford that car, let's talk about the used, because I have more financing opportunities with the used car than I did with the new car. Okay. And we're doing the same thing here with our books. We are giving people the option, we're giving them the opportunity to buy a wide range of books with different configurations and different price points, and we're going to allow them to make the decision that's right for them. So we've got a journal that has colored flowers on the pages. Well, maybe because it's got colored images on the pages, flowers in the corner or whatever, the cost of printing that book is, instead of $3, now the cost of printing that book is $7. So now to sell it on Amazon, the minimum resale price is $9.95 instead of $5.95. So now I'm going to set my price accordingly. And now my colored book, my colored diary with beautiful flowers inside each of the pages, is now a $14.95 book instead of a $9.95 book. And people that I've spoken with act as if that is the end of the road for them. The fact that I have to sell it higher is a no-go for that particular book. Now, what we're doing is we're supplanting our own values on other people. We should never do that. We don't know what the values of other people are. Whereas if I was to go into an appliance store today, you might, as an individual consumer, you might want to target the cheapest washer and dryer in the store. And sometimes when I go to the store myself, I am looking for the cheapest product. But in other cases, I am not looking for the cheapest product. I'm looking for the best value product. So when I go to the grocery store, for example, I'm buying Hellman's mayonnaise. I don't care what you say. There's no way in God's green earth you're going to get me to eat Miracle Whip. Never again. I ate that as a child. Then I discovered Hellman's mayonnaise, and there is no substitute for Hellman's mayonnaise. Okay? But there are other things that I go to the store, and buying generics not a big deal. Like, for example, fish sticks for the kids or pizza. Now, Totino's is the cheapest pizza you can buy, and it tastes like cardboard. And we don't buy that. We buy Tony's, or we buy, I can't remember the name of the other one, but they're all much better pizza. They actually taste good. So therefore, I'm willing to spend a little bit more money instead of going with a generic. But when I'm buying like body soap, I'm buying the cheapest one I can buy, okay? And maybe that makes me smell bad. I don't know. But anyway, the point is, each of us have different values that we apply to our shopping habits. And those values are going to influence our buying decisions. And the people who are looking at our journals are influenced in the same way. Now, you might look at a diary and say, oh, if the diary's more than $10, I'm not going to buy that because that seems like a waste of money. But the next person over here might be willing to spend double that and spend $19.95 on a journal because it's got real pretty colored pictures inside the pages. It's not up to us to decide what people will buy. We need to put out inventory and allow people to make their own decisions. And for me, even if I do a blank line journal, 100 pages of blank lines, I've got an option. I could sell it for $5.99 and make about 45 cents a copy sold. Or I can take that same book and sell for $9.95 or $12.95 or $14.95 and make a lot more money per copy sold. So each of us have these decisions to make in our own publishing business. So binding is one thing that can affect the price of the book. We can either go with perfect bound, which is a softback book, or we can go with like a spiral notebook or a spiral book. The spiral will typically cost a little bit more for the consumer to purchase, but for them, the spiral binding might make a whole lot more sense, especially when you're dealing with somebody who's got like a coloring book. The perfect bound, you open it up to the page so you can start coloring, and then the book wants to close itself automatically. If you put it in spiral bound, then that's not an issue anymore. That problem goes away. So that's worth more money to the consumer to buy a spiral bound coloring book than perfect bound book, okay? Another thing is color pages, whether we go with black and white or color pages. The color pages are going to be more expensive to print. Therefore, you're going to have to raise the cost and pass that cost to your consumer, okay? Now, you can raise the cost and leave the price the same. That's your option. But you're deciding how much you need to make per book to make it worth your while to do so. The size of the book is another factor, whether you're dealing with a 6x9 or 8x10 or 8.5x11 or anything in between. The size of the book will affect your pricing, and therefore you will need to pass that cost to the consumer and let the consumer make the decision about whether this product is what they want, whether they're willing to spend the amount of money required to acquire that particular item. It doesn't matter whether you can afford it or not. When I was selling cars, I couldn't afford a new car. I could afford a used car. But the thing is, the people who were coming on the lot, they could afford the new car because they were there to buy a new car. My dad came in one day and he was going to buy a new car. And so I talked to him about a car, and he was looking at a $40,000 truck. And I'm like, dude, why the heck are you looking at a $40,000 truck? This is expensive. He's like, dude, I'm going to buy a $40,000 truck whether I buy it from you or the guy across the street. So sell me the $40,000 truck. Shut up. And he was making a good point, okay? Page count is another thing that's going to factor into this. If you got 52 pages or 100 pages or 150 pages or even 200 pages, the more pages that are in the book, the higher your cost of printing is going to be. And that's okay. You put out the book in the different sizes and allow people to make their own decision for themselves. The thing that really impacted me, as far as going back when I was doing sales and stuff, I was doing telephone sales at one time. And as a nifty little setup, the company would send out these postcards to people, and invite them to call a telephone number for their chance to win whatever, And basically the structure was if you call in, we'll get you registered to win a new car. They gave away one new car a year, and that was what was required by the legalities of it all. And then everybody who called got coupon for a discount purchase of such and such. And if they wanted to, they could make a purchase of a package that we were selling. The package we were selling was, I believe, $499.95. The reason it's $499.95 is because the people who were being sent the postcard had just been approved for their very first credit card with a $500 credit line. So we were maxing out their credit card on day one. Now, the thing of it was, when I first took that job, I was very uneasy about the entire process because I kept telling myself the stuff we're making available to them is not worth $499.95. And see, the offer we were making to him was like I believe it was a two or threefold thing. So you had there was a 3D camera, which is kind of cool, but you can buy them all day long in a magazine for $35. Then there was a discount voucher for free air travel to Walt Disney World, and we buy those all the time. If you know where to go, you can get the coupon for like $10. And we were selling this for $499.95. I think there was a third item. I don't remember what the third item was. But see, the thing that really changed my thinking on this, at first I was like really uneasy about the whole process because we were selling roughly $100 worth of product or $50 worth of product for $499.95. And granted, I made a $100 commission. That's fine, whatever. Okay. But I didn't feel comfortable with the entire process. And it seemed like a kind of a scam to me. And but I needed the job, so I kept working the job. And one phone conversation, kind of opened my eyes to a whole new world out there. And in my mind, I'm thinking, this is a ripoff. I don't know why people would spend $500 to get this crap. Okay. So that was my thinking. That's my mindset when I took the job. And once we got into it a bit, I had a phone call with somebody. One particular person called in, and they're like, I want the free airfare to Disney World. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to stop you from buying what you want. But the thing that changed my world was not the fact that he wanted this. He explained to me why he wanted this. And that's why it really changed the way I view things. And what he said was that I want that free airfare. I'm willing to spend the $500 to get there because my mother is 68 years old. She was just diagnosed with cancer. She's been given 2 years to live. And I want to take my mother to Disney World before she passes away. Because we tried to do that when I was growing up, and we never could go there, but it's always been her dream to go to Disney World. And we couldn't do it when I was growing up, and we couldn't do it when I was an adult. But right now, I have the opportunity to get free airfare to take her to Disney World and get discounts on hotel rooms. And I'm going to do that because I want to give this to my mother before she passes away. And boom, in that moment, I realized that what I was selling had value to other people, value that I could not measure, value that I could not understand in the moment. I did not understand the value of what we were offering to people. We weren't offering a 3D camera and a coupon package for free airfare. We were offering to people a solution to a problem that they had. We were offering people the opportunity to live their dreams. And with that moment, with that one phone call, my whole world changed. And my sales percentage went up because I finally understood that I cannot apply to other people my own value system. I have to present the offer and allow people to use their own value system to decide whether they want to make a purchase or not. And that one understanding, that one simple basic premise is what forever changed my ability to earn money from what I was selling online or over the phone or wherever or in person. It didn't matter because I stopped applying to other people my own values. The things that I found important don't matter. What is important is what's important to the consumer. The consumer will determine if it's too much money or if the price is just right. The consumer will determine whether this particular book will help them achieve their goals. If they find my book and they decide, I think I would like that book, and I think that that book will help me, and I'm comfortable with paying that price, then I've done everything I need to do. I just need to get out of their way and let them purchase what they want to purchase. I hope this makes sense to you. But whatever we do, don't let the fact that colored books cost more to print than black and white be your determining factor on whether you publish a colored book or not. Let the customer decide. And if they decide that they want the colored book, then they may also decide that they're willing to pay extra $3 or $4 to get it. Okay? Make the products, put it out there on the marketplace, and let them decide whether that product is right for them or not. Until next time, I'm Bill Platt. Have a great day.